Okay, there we have it. It's the final game of the Australia leg of this tour, which has been long. It has been, well, as you can see in the back there, it's been nasty in terms of the weather. Performances have been decent. We had one good half today and then one not so good half. It went a bit Pete Tong in the second half for United today, but there were multiple changes, and that's probably where it sort of went. Well, you can't really say it went wrong on pre-season because it is all about testing, getting match minutes into the players' legs, getting everybody on point for the start of when it really matters, which is the Premier League on the 7th of August. So really you can look at today and say, yeah, we wasted an opportunity to win a game and finish this part of the tour as 4 out of 4 wins. But positives were the game was pretty much done with our first team in the first half. We were miles better than Aston Villa. The link-up play in the forward line again was in full effect. Jadon Sancho was superb. The good thing I would take from this game more is both flanks. Seeing Marcus Rashford and Luke Shaw link up again, nicely down the left-hand side, and the same down the right-hand side with Sancho and Dalot, which has been there all tour. It has been one of the standout sort of parts or bits of the game and what Ten Hag has been working on, to see Dalot progress to where he is now, which is a decent right back. There's a bit of defensive work still to do with him, but you can see that link up with, you can see the bond with Sancho now, and it's paying dividends because Sancho has been standout in this tour. He's got his 3rd goal today, which was well taken. Probably should have had another one, but to be honest, the pitch and everything else that was tonight probably didn't help in the end. It was a bit messy. It was a bit scrappy. Let's not forget we're giving the first game to Jimmy Garner in the second half as well when it all went wrong. But all in all, you have to round up this part of the tour and say it was a massive success. We've had to deal with the lack of no Ronaldo, no signings coming in. Only Malacia has made it so far out the signings that have happened this summer for Manchester United. And all in all, you've got to say how Ten Hag has dealt with it. We spoke to many journalists here and they've all said exactly the same. The way he's conducted himself and handled certain situations has been exemplary. And going forward, you hope that that is a positive going into the main part of the season, which is, like I said, August 7th, Brighton at home, when the chips are down and everything is important and everything matters, unlike here in terms of the results, that these players can carry that mentality that they've took through this tour all the way through. It's going to be interesting. We've said many a times before, when Ronaldo comes back, when we do get back to Manchester probably, it's going to be very interesting. Still no word of what is going on there and how Ten Hag is going to handle that is going to be the interesting thing when we do get back home. But I just think, all in all, like I said, with everything that has gone on, the players that are here, the young players especially, that has really shone. I do think that we can take more positives than negatives from this. I think the club haven't helped Ten Hag in terms of his players, but the players that we have got, the players that last season we didn't really think were capable, didn't have enough, and were ultimately failures, which they were last season, I've started to turn up for Ten Hag. They've started to listen. It feels like there's a leader in the dressing room. It feels like the structure in there. It feels like the players are all on the same page, and that's all because of Ten Hag and his staff. We've seen open training sessions, Steve McLaren doing his bit, very vocal and carrying the word of Ten Hag, it would seem. Ten Hag comes in when he needs to. He's eyeing up everything. He understands everything about every single player in this team, knows exactly what all the players are doing, when they're doing it and how. And he's in complete control of every single player. We've not had a manager like that since Sir Alex. And it's been a long time coming. There's been managers here that have actually looked like they've had a system, like a Van Gaal or a Jose Mourinho, but it's just not worked. Some people will call them dinosaurs or that type of manager. But right now, with the young squad that we've got, I do believe that we've got the right manager in. And that's what I'm taking away from this tour. I mean, every single journalist that's asked a question on, we've asked a question to them about how he's handled it or what he's said. They've all been massively impressed. You've seen the interviews with the journalists that we've done here on the tour. Very, very impressive in terms of how he answers questions and his direction. He makes it very clear what he wants to do. And we've seen that on the pitch. We can't really take anything from this last game in terms of the second half. It was a full mixed match team that came out. We didn't even have a striker in the second half, and that's shown. A few mistakes that we can start to iron out, hopefully. We'll get Martinez in. It's another defensive option. We'll have a bit more in terms of stability and how we're going to go forward in the defence, because it's chopping and changing all the time at the moment. Bailly looks good. Then Maguire looks okay. Lindelof not too good. The best defender that we had in Varane not looking too good at the moment. So I think defensively is probably where we need the most work right now. And going off tonight, I would definitely say that is where we lost that game. Couple of mistakes, definitely from the corner. And when you're doing that in the Premier League and we're conceding the amount of goals you do at set pieces like we did last season, you can see how difficult a job it's going to be for Ten Hag going forward. Going forward in terms of attack, it's good. We've got a link up, like we said. We've praised Martial, Rashford and Sancho all tour. Bruno back to what we knew Bruno was and where he was when he first came in. And that's all good signs. The midfield, we don't know what's going to happen. We've got the Frenkie de Jong scenario. We've got to try and get over that and try and figure... Well, we're not got to try and figure out. We just got to hope that the club can figure out exactly how this deal can be done. And maybe by the time the season starts, he will be in. But until then, we've got to work with what we've got, like Ten Hag says. Scott McTominay with an injury today. We don't know what's happening there, how serious it is. Walking out in the mixed zone there, McTominay didn't look like he was heavily strapped or any sort of concern injury-wise. But the fact that we're talking about Scott McTominay's injuries is where I think the club have let Ten Hag down. The midfielder still isn't here. Like I said, we just hope that is rectified before the start of the season, because it's an area of the pitch that, along with the defence, like I just said, is probably our weak point at the moment. Get that midfield sorted, the forward line firing on all cylinders like they have been doing this tour, and then finally decide on a centre-back partnership, and hopefully we can decide on a two, because we can't keep chopping and changing it. It isn't going to work. Ten Hag does look like he is going to actually stick with a two and go with that until that one of them players can't play or is injured. I don't think he doesn't look like, from what we've seen here, like the type of manager that's going to chop and change constantly. We've seen a very similar team start every single game, which is good. 2 or 3 changes, so you can see he's pretty much set on what he wants to do going forward. And it's just a few positions, like I said, where we just need to get sorted and be ready for the start of the season. But from this, I would have to say, pleased, happy with the team and where it's going. We head back to Manchester tomorrow now. Then a few days off to Norway on the Friday. It'll be 2 teams split there. One for the Norway game against Atletico Madrid, and then one back home the following day at home to Rayo Vallecano. So we'll see. It'll be interesting which way he mixes that up. But still intriguing to see if he brings Eriksen and Martinez as well, because he was a bit unsure if any of them two would be coming on the Norway part of the tour. But that's it. We're done. Perth is the final destination here in Australia. Cheers for all your comments, even the stupid ones. You know, we love them all. It's just what it is. It's been an absolute ball. It's been a ride, and we move on to Manchester next, and then Norway. Busy, and hopefully in a couple of weeks, when I'm walking up to Old Trafford, I'll know exactly what's going on. I'll know exactly what team, and hopefully we get off to a good start. But until then, bring on Manchester, bring on Norway. Here we go. Well, let's just say here we go. Let's hope we get a here we go from Romano or something like that with a new signing over the next couple of weeks as well. Like, share and subscribe, everybody. Cheers for watching. That is us done in Australia. We're heading back. We'll see you all soon. Bye-bye.
The United stands on tour, supported by Wash and Go.